Everyone, this is Haider Khatri and you are watching Haider Khatri vlog. Today's my vlog is about Australian visa. In this vlog we will discuss everything about Australian visa. I will take you on the screen. I have some notings step by step. I will tell you that how you can get Australian visa, even its visit visa, what kind of visas available we will discuss later. Please watch complete video if you are interested to migrate to Australia or you want the Australian visa. Let's go to the screen. In this video we are going to discuss all these points, so be with me step by step. We will discuss in detail, so this video is going to be very long, so be with me if you are interested to know everything about the Australian visa. So let's discuss. So Australian visa, information about the Australian visa type, required, the application process, fees and more relevant. In this article, the Australian visa, you apply for a dependent on the purpose of the visit, whether it is the tourism, business, work, study or visit. Family members, passport holders of many countries can obtain a visa very easily online, while other may be submit paper application at embassy or consulate. Okay, what is Australian visa? An Australian visa permit to allow to travel to Australia for a predetermined period of time. Unlike most of the countries, Australia does not issue visa stamp on labels on your passport. Instead, your visa privilege are recorded out electronically on the online database. When you travel to Australia, the immigration officer will check database to learn whether you have visa. Do I need visa for Australia? Apart from New Zealand, who can get visa on arrival, everyone else has to apply for a visa or authorize before they travel to Australia. For short-term visit visa, get a e-visa and electronic travel authorities, or an visitor visa depending on the nationalities. So you can check it out, all the list is here. You can check it out, all this list. Australian visa policy for New Zealand, so that one is not our matter, we are not discussing these things. So how I can get an Australian visa? You can get an Australian visa online or through an Australian embassy consulate depending on your nationality. You apply for a e-visitor through Australian Department of Home Affairs online e-service. You apply for an electronic travel authority through the official ETA portal of the Australian Department of Home Affairs. You may apply for an Australian visa either online or in person at an embassy or consulate. Do I need to submit the original document? You do not need to submit your original document for Australian visa. If you are applying online, you have to scan your document and attach them as an electronic file. If you are applying for a paper, then you should submit a certified copies. This means that you make copy of the document, send it to someone who can certify it for you, and they must write this is a certified true copy of the original as cited by me. Not everyone can certify your document. However, it has to be Australian citizen or non-Australian who works in one of the eligible professions like doctor, judge, clerk or court, bank officer, police officer, etc. When should I apply for a visa? The time when you have applied for an Australian visa depend on the type of the visa you are applying. If you are applying for a tourist visa, you should apply at least a month before you apply to travel, but you may think of giving it more time. Even though most applications are resolved in a few weeks, some tourist visa applications have taken more than 4 months. If you are applying for an e-visitor or ETA, then you can apply about a week before your trip, and you should be fine. If you are applying for a long term visa such as a work visa, you will have to start the process as soon as possible, since they can take months to over a year to complete. Who issue the Australian visa? The authorities that the authority that assesses the decision all visa application in the Australia Department of Home Affairs. Australian visa types. Australian visa are divided into following categories. Visitor visa, the category is for short-term travel who do not intend to settle in Australia, include the following visa and travel authorities. Tourist visa subclass 600, electronic travel authority subclass 601, e-visitor subclass 651, medical treatment visa subclass 602. Study and training visa. This category include visas, international student, trainees, as well as partner of the guardian of underage international student. Student visa subclass 500, training visa class 407, student guardian visa class 590. Parent visa. This category of the visa issued to the parents of the Australian citizen, permanent resident of eligible New Zealand citizen, and are divided into the following categories. Parent visa subclass 103, age parents visa subclass 804, contributor age parents visa subclass 884 and subclass 864, contributory parents visa subclass 173, temporary contributory parents visa subclass 143. Family visa. The category of a visa is issued to minor or adult depending relatives or carrying Australia citizen, permanently resident or eligible New Zealand citizen. It is divided into adoption visa subclass 102, age depending relative visa subclass 114 and subclass 838, career visa subclass 836 and subclass 116, dependent child visa subclass 445, New Zealand citizen family relationship visa subclass 461, temporary orphan relative visa subclass 117 and subclass 837, remaining relative visa subclass 115 and subclass 834. Partner visa. The categories of the visa issued the spouse, de facto partner or representative spouse, Australian citizen, permanent residency of eligible New Zealand citizen, and it's divided into prospective marriage visa subclass 300, partner visa subclass 309, partner visa subclass 100, partner visa subclass 820, partner visa subclass 801. Humanitarian visa. This type of visa are issued to refugee who fulfill Australian protection obligations and are divided into refugee visa subclass 200, 201, 203 and 204. Global specialized humanitarian subclass 202. Protection visa subclass 866. Temporary protection visa subclass 787. Safe haven enterprise visa subclass 790. Bridging visa. This type of visa allow you to hold to stay in Australia while their immigration application is being processed. Depending on the circumstance, they are divided into bridge visa A, BB subclass 010, bridging visa B, bridging visa C, and bridging visa E. Work visa. This type of visa allows to hold a work in Australia legally. Depending on the type of work, they are divided into global talent visa subclass 858, employment nominee scheme subclass 186, permanent resident visa subclass 191, skilled regional sponsor migration scheme subclass 187, skilled employer sponsor region visa subclass 494, skilled independent visa subclass 189, skilled nominated visa subclass 190, is on. So you can read out all this visa class if you are interested. Can I appeal for a visa refusal? If your Australian visa is rejected, then you can make an appeal to review the decision to the Australian Administrative Appeal AAT. Make sure your appeal as soon as possible after you receive your rejection letter, as it will not be considered if you wait too long. You usually have 7 to 28 days to make an appeal. Your visa rejection letter let you know the whether you are eligible for an appeal, and if yes, how and when you can do it. After you get the visa, if you receive the Australian tourist visa, you will get a visa grant number. You can use this number to check your visa detail on the VEVO system, visa entitlement verification online. You will not get a visa stamp on your passport because all your information is available on an online database. You should, however, print out the visa grant notice to have with you when you travel. This letter has all the information you need for your visa. The immigration officer at the airport will check your visa status on the online database using the IMI account or visa number. How long the process time and the Australian visa? The processing time for Australian visa depend on the visa type. Generally, most tourist stream visa application are processed within a few weeks, as maximum of 4 months. But it could also take only a few days if everything is in order. As for long-term visa application, it can take several months to more than a year, depend on the visa type. Do I have to provide a biometric for a visa application? You need to submit your biometric visa picture and fingerprint. If you apply for a visa which biometric are mandatory, you apply for a country from which biometric is mandatory. Do I need to travel health insurance? For long-term visa, you are always required to have a proper Australian health insurance cover. For visitor visa, on the other end, it is not usually obligatory to get the health insurance, but the Australian government strongly advised travelers to do so. How long can I stay in Australia with a valid visa? If you are visiting Australia as a tourist or other short-term process, you can usually stay up to 3 months at a time. An e-visa and ATA is valid for 1 year from the date of issue. During this year, you can enter the country multiple times as long as you do not stay longer than 3 months each visit. The tourist stream visa is issued for up to 3, 6 or 12 months. Work, study and other long-term visas can be issued from the few months for up to 5 years, depending on your particular circumstances. How long do you have to leave Australia before returning? If you have a ETA or visitor, there are really no rules on how long you need to be outside Australia before you return. You must just take care of leave the country before 3 months are up. Once you are re-enter, you can stay for another 3 months, provided that you do not exceed your visa 1 year validity. Also remember that you are not allowed to work Australian visa at ETA, e-visa, e-visitor or a tourist visa, and that you cannot pursue a study course that's longer than 3 months. Can I extend an Australian visa? If you are already in Australia and you want to stay longer, you can apply for a new visa at least 2 weeks before your current one expires, as long as your visa do not have a no future stay notice. This means that you cannot extend or apply for a new visa if you have you have entered using a tourist visa which has a no future stay unless you have extraordinary circumstances. Once you apply for a different type of visa, you will receive a bridging visa which allows you to stay in Australia until the immigration authorities make a decision. How long can I stay after your visa is expired? Unless you have applied for another type of visa, then you are not allowed to stay in Australia after the expiry of your visa. If you overstay even by just a few days, then it will go on your immigration record and it could be affect your future visa application. If you are overstay your visa for longer than 28 days, you could be subject to an interview by immigration authorities on your way out, and you may even get a 3 years travel ban. Natural three natural there are a exception if you have a valid reason for having overstay. How much how much does an Australian visa cost? The fee of Australian visa depend on the visa type, method of application, and duration of your stay. A visit visa, tourist visa, Australian dollar 145, e-visa and ETF fee charge except for Australian 20 service fees. Student visa 620, training visa 310 Australian dollar, work visa 310 to 4045 depending on the visa type. Can I get a refund if I withdraw my visa application? If you withdraw your Australian visa application, you are most likely not to going to get the refund. Someone who withdraw their visa application can only be reimbursed in one of the following instance. The application of family member of the applicant has passed away. The application has received another visa of same category. Only for parents visa application, the application has applied for a different type of Australian parents visa and want to hear a decision on the second application. If your visa application is denied, you will not receive any refund. How can I check my visa validity and conditions? You can use a visa entitlement verification online to see the details and condition of your visa to access. You need one of the following: transaction reference number when you start the online visa application, visa grant number, visa evidence number. You will also have to enter the following detail: your birth date, passport number, and country of nationality. How do I find out about the progress of my application? If you apply online, you can track your application status through the IMMI account. As Dependent Home Affairs assist the application, they will update the process on your account as follows: incomplete if you have not yet finished your visa application, ready to submit if you have completed the application but have not submitted yet, submitted, the application is submitted, received, the DHA has received your application, initial assessment, the DHA is assessing your application, future assistant, the DHA required to submit additional information, finalized, a decision has been made and will soon be notified by email or post. How can I pay my visa fee? When you apply for online, you pay your visa fee through the credit card, debit card, and such as MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Diners, JCB. If you apply for embassy or consultant, the office will notify you how to pay the fee. What if I make mistake during the my application? As you submit your visa application online, you have to make sure you do not submit it with the mistake. If you notice a mistake before finalizing your application and paying for the visa, you can simply modify it. If you do not notice until after submit, then you will likely have to resubmit the application, which means that you also have to pay the visa fee again. The good thing is that before you submit your application, definitely you will be able to review it once more time, and you can correct any mistake you spot. Remember that if you have made mistake when offering a detail of your passport, it could cause a problem for you at the border. So hope guys, this is almost like 23 minutes video, and I hope I cover all the topics. Whatever questions you have, I try to cover all the things. Still you have any question in your mind, just write down in the comments box. I will reply you back definitely. And if you still didn't subscribe my channel, do subscribe my channel for more informative videos. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.